Hey everybody, we're going to start our Technique Tuesday today with a couple of things. One, a new item release, which are going to be these sugar skulls that you see. And the other thing we're going to do today is show you how to paint these sugar skulls. They're also Day of the Dead. There's a couple different names for them, but they're super cute. So this one's a lady, this one's the heart one, and this one's the flower one. So this design right here is actually on whiteboard. So when it shows up, it'll look like this. You can also get it on just regular birch wood. If you choose to get it on the whiteboard, the back side of it is actually black, not white. Where's the one with the black? There it is. Oops. So it's black on the back and white on the front, and that's the whiteboard version. The wood version, wood on the front, wood on the back. So by the time you're watching this video, these three sugar skulls will already be posted on the site. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you the handiest thing I found so far when I'm doing items with a lot of fine detail, and that is this magnifying glass that I got. This one came from Amazon. I also grabbed one from Hobby Lobby. This one's the Light version. The head bends, it comes off, it clips onto things. Both are really super cool, but I've just kind of stuck with this one. So I am going to use this and try to line it up. Sorry about these reflection rings. I've tried to work with it a few different ways and I can't make them go away. So do you have a little piece of cardboard that I have my item on? Just because the base of this, it is adjustable, or you can change the angle, but I want a smooth surface. So I just put a piece of cardboard here, and this has several different light options, so hopefully, there we go, the camera will adjust. So I'm going to use the brightest light for this particular one, and I'm going to start off with my Posca pens. I'm sure you've seen these, whoops, just hit the light on that, talked about, advertised, but there's several different kinds of Posca, and they come in different sizes. So the biggest one is the 3mm. This one is a 1mm. And then there actually is even a smaller one than that I don't have, that is super fine. It's like an ultra fine pen. Now, these are not the only brand that rattle, and there's this brand that comes from Walmart. Now, this one, I don't know if you can hear it, but the problem is you can't hear anything. You need to be able to hear it rattle, and if you don't hear them rattle, keep shaking until you, whoop, that one's not a rattle one. Huh. Keep shaking till you hear them rattle. So I normally put my pens that I'm using, I lay them down when they're not in use, because if you turn them this side up, the color can sink all the way to the bottom, and when you pull the lid off, it's just going to be this big mess. If you turn them this way, it's going to take you a lot longer to shake. So this is not a bad way to store them, but just be prepared to shake them. So I do kind of go with a little bit of a tilt. This is just my little organizer that I keep handy on my desk. Now I did also get some new Posca glitter pens. I know, I was so excited when I found out glitter. So I did this in pink glitter, this one in purple glitter. I also have some pastel pens on their way to me. They just didn't make it here in time. So the thin ones that I have, this is the tip, and these are the 1mm. So I'm mostly going to use these. Where I would use the bigger ones, see, bigger tip, is if I had a large surface area to cover. So when I was doing the hair on this one, I outlined it in the thinner and then I filled in with the thicker. Which brings me to my next point. When you are using paint or paint pens on the whiteboard, you have to seal it. This is my go-to sealer, but you have to seal it. Because it's a whiteboard and it's a smooth surface, you run the risk of the paint coming off. So, must seal. This has the triple thick on it. You could see it's got a little shine to it. You could get a matte finish if you wanted, if you didn't want that much shine, but I kind of like it. These two are not sealed yet. Okay, so let's put all this. Oh, how do we start using our pens? So this one's already been used before, you can tell, because there's color all the way down. Let me find one that hasn't been used yet. Why don't I just... there we go. That one has not been used yet. How can I tell? No color on the tip. So what you're going to do is shake, 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 shake your pens. I live at altitude. So when my pens arrive, I lay them flat and then I leave them overnight. Because I'm at altitude, it does weird things, and these things get nasty air bubbles and things like that in them. And in a way, I hope you see what it does so that you'll know it's okay, it's not the end of the world. But in a way, I hope you don't. So I let them stay there and lay them flat because there's no telling which direction your UPS driver has had them going in. So that's just me. Okay, take the lid off after we've shaken, and you are not going to mash this down. You are going to gently press this tip onto something soft. This is just a kind of piece of cardboard. You could also do it on paper. If you do it on paper towels, you run the risk of getting all kinds of little fibers and stuff on it. The action of pushing down on it is going to push this up into your paint pen, and that is going to prime this right here. If you mash it down, you're going to bend the tip and lose the fact that it's a fine point. So we don't want to do that. So we're just going to do a couple of, let's see if I can do this so you can see, real gentle taps. Don't get impatient. It will come. See? It's starting to right here. And that's when we're going to just let it go. Now I have paint on the end. What I was afraid was going to happen was the first press that I made, this big puddle of paint comes out, which usually happens with me, especially at altitude. Always, always, always prime your paint before you use it, and do it on a scratch piece of paper or cardboard before you start using your item. Even if you put your paint up and come back to it, I'd say if it's, 5-10 minutes later, gently test it on your cardboard again to make sure you're not going to get this big gush of paint everywhere. It's not fun and it will ruin your item so fast. Okay, so let me pull over my sugar skull. See if I can line this up to get some of the glare. And I'm going to actually turn it this way so that you can see what I'm doing and I can get my hand in there. Okay, I'm just going to have to move it around. So pick your first color. Remember, I just used green. Now I want to use purple. So I'm going to test it on my cardboard first. This one's been used before, so I should just be able to start writing with it. Good, that's what I'd hope for. I highly encourage leaving the paper, the protective paper on this until you're ready to work on that particular element. And when you're ready, just go in with a dull fingernail or something that's got a little bit of an edge to it, tweezers can also pull this up, and you're going to pull each section up one at a time. And then that's what you're going to start painting. By taking all of the protective cover off, which this one has all of the protective cover gone, it doesn't give you as much opportunity to stop the paint from running. So let's see how I do. If this doesn't go well, then I'm going to go back to the one that doesn't have the tape on it. That's usually just the best way to do it, is leave the tape on. So hopefully everybody can see this. Now remember, this is a liquid paint. So if you start painting it like a paintbrush, it's a little different. It's going to flow, the color is. So I tend to start in the middle of the item and then kind of gently push the color to the edge of that particular item. That's my way of doing, that works for me. So let's see how we do here. So again, I am using my, oh, this is going to be tricky to do, to show y'all and use my magnifying glass. Okay. This magnifying glass is amazing. Okay, maybe if I pull it a little closer, this is really cute. Okay, just real gently. Like I said, I'm not going all the way to the edge, but I'm getting very close, and then I'm gently kind of pushing the color towards the edge. You can always go back and put more in there, but you can't take away. Now, where you can, I still encourage you to go with the grain. It stops your paint from running over the grain and sending little splatter pieces everywhere. I know it's not always an option, but when you can, definitely do it. And I'm just real gently doing this. Do not do this after you've had your third cup of coffee, or when you're screaming at the kids to do their homework. Do this when you have some peace and quiet. And you can see where the paint went over just a little bit. What I'll do is I'll pick a darker color and cover that up. Had I been doing this by just pulling off the pieces of paper I needed at the time, that probably would not have happened. It might, but probably not, because it would have had a piece of paper protecting it. It's also because I have this at a weird angle, and I think my tip of my paint pen touched it. So I'm just working my way around. The tip is barely touching the wood. I mean, it's just lightly running over it. Start in the middle, work your way to the edge, and then you can always go back. So then I would do the other side normally. Little tip, whatever paint you use, leave that paint out until you're 100% sure you're done with it. If you start putting your paints up, and then you come back and realize, oh look, I need to touch it up. I have grabbed the wrong paint color before because I didn't remember which one I had used. So leave your paints out, set them to one side. You'll thank me one of these days. Let's see. Ooh, I wonder if I should use some of my glitter. Oh, that might be kind of fun. All right. I don't think this one's been used. Nope. So shake. Anybody else have that song from Beetlejuice running through their head now? Shake, shake, shake. Okay, I'll stop. Trust me, can't sing. Okay, gently prime it. Now, oh look, you see it? Look what happened. Ah, explosion. Okay, that's why I usually leave my paints to kind of sit and acclimate. Now, the risk I run here is this is a much wider tip. So if I'm not super careful with what I'm doing, I'm going to run and have paint everywhere. So let's see if I can do this. Probably not the wisest move since the papers are removed off of it, but you know, sometimes I like to live a little dangerously. Slow, steady. Oh, look at that. Don't mess it up on the other one. Yes, I did it. Okay. That's why I like having different size markers. Really wish I had the super, super thin ones. That's going to be next on my list. And I would just keep going with this pattern. Do the purple. I tend to go left to right, right to left, top to bottom. I like to let one side dry while I'm working on the other side. Or if I go to the top, then I let it dry while I'm working on the bottom. So that's just my little hint there. I'm going to keep working on this one. I'm going to stop talking and y'all can either fast forward me to the very end or turn me off at this point. And we will be doing a series on different types of pens and what the difference is. But today was just about the Posca pens and the different sizes. So hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm just going to keep painting away. You can either stay with me or get on with what you're working on. all done. What do you think?